All right, hey everybody. So I'm going to show you how to set up your settings in GeoGebra Classic 5. So I've restored the default settings, so when you open it up, this is what you see. And typically the first thing that I do is in my graphics view, I right click and I hide the axes and the grid. So you just click on axes to show or hide it and click on grid to show or hide it. You can also get to that through your settings. So in your layout settings, let's see. Yeah, so in your graphic settings, excuse me. So you can click show axes here, or you can show the grid here. So then the next thing that I do is I set up my algebra view, and I like to sort my objects by object type so that all the points will be grouped together, etc. And I like to show the definition of the object in my algebra description. And this button toggles auxiliary objects. You can also right click in the algebra view to show auxiliary objects. So let's put some objects in here so you can see what those settings did. So I'm going to type A equals 0, 0, and B equals 1, 0, and I'm going to put in a polygon, a regular polygon with, let's say, maybe 20 sides. And so all of these points except for A and B would be considered auxiliary objects. So if I hide that, those disappear. You can see all my points are grouped together. If I change that to construction order, the last thing that was constructed is at the bottom. Sometimes that's useful, but I like to have object type because then I can click on point and show or hide the labels or show or hide the objects all at once. So I can do that in the algebra view, or I could do that in the graphics view. So then another thing I like to do is change my defaults for sizes of objects and line weights and things like that. So I'm going to go into my preferences. If you're not seeing the preferences window, you can right click in your graphics view and click on the bottom option, which defaults to the graphics preferences. The object properties will only show up if you have an object selected. So right now I don't have any objects selected. So that defaults, I guess, to point A. In other versions of GeoGebra, that just won't show up at all. So I'm not going to mess with my object preferences. Graphics preferences, this is all fine. The defaults are good. You want to make sure your aspect ratio is 1:1. We could lock that if we want to, so that doesn't change. X-axis is good, Y-axis is good, grid is good. Layout preferences, these are all fine. It's the default preferences that we want to go into next. So let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. So points, I don't really use free points very often, but when I do, I like them to be smaller. Dependent points are pretty common. I like them to be smaller. Points on path. So all my points, I like to be smaller in size. So I can just click on point and make them all smaller in size if I want to, as opposed to selecting them individually. And I'm fine with the colors of all of these. So that's my points. My lines, I like to be gray, 100% opacity, and a thickness of 2. So that's like that. Segment, let's do a thickness of 3. Black is good, 100% opacity. Rays, I like things to have 100% opacity. I'm going to make my rays also gray. Polylines, 100% opacity. Thickness of 5 is fine. I don't really use vectors too often. Conics, I definitely use those a lot. I want a default thickness of 2 and a color of gray so that when I draw a circle, it's thin. Sectors, 100% opacity. Thickness is fine. Functions, let's see. Default for polygons is fine. I'm going to make the line opacity 100. The default color is fine. And the rest of these, I'm pretty okay with the defaults. So then another thing I like to change is the labeling. So under options, labeling, if I want only new points to show their label, I'll click new points only. I like to have no new objects and then selectively show labels. So now if I draw a circle, none of the labels show up. Or if I draw a line, none of the labels show up. But I can always have them show up by right-clicking on the object and showing the label if I want to. So those are kind of the default properties in GeoGebra. I hope that helps.